Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the greatest discovery stories of our time, a legendary city lost for centuries, literally swallowed by an impenetrable jungle. And we're going to see how a revolutionary piece of tech finally revealed a secret that was hiding in plain sight all along. You know, for 500 years, there were these legends, whispers of a lost civilization tucked away deep inside the Mosquitia Jungle of Honduras. We're talking about one of the last truly unexplored places on Earth. This is not a place that gives up its secrets easily. This legend, they called it Ciudad Blanca, the White City, first mentioned by Hernan Cortez himself way back in 1526. And it became this total obsession for explorers. But the jungle, well, the jungle was an impenetrable fortress, a green hell that guarded its secrets and swallowed every single person who dared to enter. So that brings us to the big question, right? How in the world do you find something that you literally can't see? How do you map a city buried under a green ocean? Well, the answer required a massive technological leap. I mean, for centuries, the answer was pretty simple. You just couldn't. Exploring on foot was nearly impossible, just this brutal, bloody fight for every single mile. So the answer, it turned out, had to come from the sky. And that's where this game-changing technology called LiDAR comes in. Think of it like radar, but instead of radio waves, it uses lasers. It's a system that could finally do what human eyes never could, see right through the jungle. So, back in 2012, a team gets in this little Cessna and flies over the target valley. And for days, they're just blasting the ground with hundreds of millions of laser pulses, building this incredibly detailed digital model of the forest floor hidden beneath that thick canopy. And when they got back and crunched all that data, basically digitally erasing the trees, what they saw, well, it was absolutely stunning. It wasn't just a few ruins, it was an entire city. Its plazas and pyramids were perfectly preserved in the data. The myth was real. But here's the thing. The city they uncovered, it just completely defied all expectations. This wasn't just a bunch of old buildings. It was a masterpiece of ancient engineering. I mean, look at this. The LiDAR map revealed this sprawling, super-organized city. We're talking huge public plazas, residential zones, irrigation canals, and these massive earthen pyramids. This was clearly the work of a large, powerful, and very sophisticated society. And what's so incredible, what really makes this discovery unique, is just how different it was from the famous Mayan cities nearby. See, instead of stacking cut stones, these people practiced what we call landscape engineering. They literally sculpted the earth itself to build their world. Think about that for a second. They didn't just build in the jungle, they terraformed the entire valley. This was a civilization that totally mastered its environment on this just monumental scale, reshaping hills into pyramids and valleys into farmland. Okay, so seeing it from the air with lasers is one thing, but to really get it, you have to go in on foot. And what the first explorers found on the ground, it was both secret and honestly pretty tragic. So in 2015, using those LiDAR maps as their guide, a team of archaeologists and soldiers finally went in. They were the first people to step foot in that city in over 500 years. And as they're exploring near the main pyramid, one of the guys literally trips over something hard under the moss. And it wasn't a root. He had stumbled on this incredible cache of 52 perfectly carved stone artifacts, just sitting there, untouched for centuries. You could see them just peeking out from the jungle floor. And let me tell you, these weren't just everyday tools. No way. These were ceremonial masterpieces. We're talking about these intricately decorated grinding stones, they're called metates, and vessels carved to look like vultures and snakes. But the real showstopper was this were-jaguar head, a carving of a shaman caught in a spiritual transformation. It's just an incredibly powerful link to what they believed. Right away, the archaeologists knew this wasn't a tomb or just a random pile of stuff. The objects had been deliberately, carefully placed on this specially made floor of red clay. It was a single, profound offering, left right at the moment the city was abandoned for good. So, of course, this leads to the biggest mystery of them all. What happened here? Why would this obviously powerful civilization just walk away and leave everything behind? Well, carbon dating from the site tells this incredible story of just how long people lived there. We're talking thousands of years. But then, around the year 1500, right at the peak of its power, the city was suddenly and completely abandoned, just empty. And you know, the evidence doesn't point to a war or some kind of invasion. The city wasn't burned or destroyed. The answer is likely something far more terrifying: an invisible killer that came from across the ocean. When Europeans first came to the Americas, they brought diseases with them that the indigenous people had absolutely no immunity to, things like smallpox, measles, and influenza. It was a demographic bomb. Some estimates suggest that up to 95% of the native population died in what historians call the Great Dying. And that's the leading theory for our lost city. The last inhabitants, completely shattered by wave after wave of these new diseases, probably gathered their most secret objects. They made one last offering to their gods, and then the few survivors just fled into the jungle, leaving their home to be swallowed by nature forever. Which brings us to what might be the most profound mystery of all. After all this time, after centuries of searching, and this incredible high-tech rediscovery, we're still left with a really basic question. We have no idea what these people called themselves. We don't know what language they spoke, or just how far their kingdom stretched. An entire chapter of human history was just erased. And now, amazingly, it's been found again. But what we do know for sure is this: their ability to literally terraform the jungle proves they were absolute master engineers. So the rediscovery of this city hasn't really closed a chapter of history, it's just opened a brand new one. And that story is really just beginning to be told.